This bill would create a new government program costing taxpayers $300,000. The state banning styrofoam is costly government overreach. And like many Montanans, I enjoy hot coffee in a styrofoam cup because it keeps it hot. And this bill is a hot mess.
My co-sponsor and I wanted to bring a bill that helps with a real problem, and we want the solution to be reasonable and positive. And this bill, House Bill 477, is super reasonable.
We have chemicals in our food. We have chemicals touching our food. We are being poisoned in more ways than we know. This is an easy way to say if the feds aren't going to do it, we're going to do it. We're going to phase it out.
And before this bill, I knew the styrofoam food combination probably wasn't good for people, but I didn't realize just how bad it was until I started looking into this bill.
Republican presidential administration, the Secretary of Health and Human Services is very critical of microplastics, which is a serious thing.
It is toxic to produce. You make this kind of foam by injecting a gas into a plastic to make it foam up.
Because that is a huge concern, not only of our Republican federal administration, but I think of everyone. Microplastics have been found in the womb, and it's estimated that we eat up to a credit card worth of microplastics. I think it was per month. So that is pretty alarming.
You should not be heating up food in your microwave in a styrofoam container, in a plastic container, in melamine plates, just about anything except maybe glass. And talk about plastics. You dig a little plaque out of your arteries, 50% of it's got plastic in it.
And if we're being honest, we've known about all these problems with expanded polystyrene food containers since the 80s. For hot things, it's especially bad for your health. Let me now tell you what the bill does.
And I'm here because of my 3 daughter-in-laws and my daughter, who are educating me about raising 7, almost 8 grandchildren and how to raise them healthily. So I'm inspired, actually, by this cutting-edge proposal.
I would really like to see is the products that are being used, and I have 2 on my desk, and I can't use them for props, but I got to looking at. One I have to throw away, one I could recycle. And with that, we can start moving forward in a more positive direction on utilizing byproducts that we have out there for commodities down into the future for ag products that can be used putting on to help soil enrichment and enhancement. So I think 5 years is very reasonable. And with that, I just ask for a due pass.
We got straws made in Dillon, Montana. We got cardboard made in Bozeman, Montana. That I hope this will support the ranchers and farmers and the other businesses in Montana.
Yes, if those arguments aren't enough to convince everybody to vote yes on this, I got just a couple more. And plus, we got these neat little things that it could be posted in or packaged in, but we do have what could be, I think, a thriving industry in Montana. And a few years ago, we were pretty big. We were first in the nation in the hemp industry, and then things kind of got shut down. And so this could be a way for us to kind of revive that industry. Plus, we have a facility now in north central Montana to process it. So let this be the beginnings of a whole new industry for Montana here. I'll break down in 90 days. So we solved 2 problems with 1 here. So it's an obvious. Go green.
Sir. The problem that we have here, since we're talking philosophically, is that the free markets aren't perfect. And in the instance where we have things referred to as externalities, that would be the best example of that is pollutants put forward by industrial plants. In this case, it's styrofoam that populates our landfills or litters the sides of our roads. The effects of are not borne by the producers or the people that put those into place, hence their externalities. And in the case where externalities are at work within our free market system, it's absolutely appropriate to contemplate regulation in those particular cases.
We used to always hear, and when I was in high school in the 80s, that there's a huge hole in the ozone layer and it was a really big problem. Well, what happened? Did we wait for the free market to solve that? No, a bunch of governments across the planet got together and said you can't use chlorofluorocarbons. And guess what? It solved the problem, and we got on with our life.
I don't know about you, but I've seen this. I've seen them floating in ponds or water. I've seen fish eating the particles that break up. That stuff breaks down into our waterways. We end up eating the fish out of those waters.
So sometimes it is important that we step forward and do something when then there is a clear problem and it's not that hard to have a reasonable response.
Yeah, I just want to close with saying that the fact is, it's not if you just reheat the food, it's if you originally received the food in these packages, it's leaching into it. If it's hot, acidic, or fatty, why I chose pork carnitas is they're all three. So if you have that, touching it, it is being leached into it. We've just found out more recently that brand new babies have microplastics in them, right?
I think it's our responsibility to do it. And I also want to say I have brought this bill before. 6 years ago, I heard that the market was going to solve this in 3 years, and here we are. So just think about that. And the last thing I'm going to say is that it is time that we made this change. It's straightforward, and Montana is worth it.